In the heart of the country is a village, with streets, little shops, its own police force, and a manor house that gets lots of famous visitors. But this is no ordinary village. Behind closed doors, there is something unusual about the neighbours. Grown men play with spaceships. Women have beards. There are strange goings-on down at the farm, not to mention in the zoo. And you might think twice about taking your car for a service here. Welcome to the film village of Pinewood, twinned with its sister studio at Shepperton. These self-contained villages of plasterers, carpenters, special effects artists, designers and producers
Yeah, call me back in an hour.
play host to over 200 companies who make the studio site their home, all dedicated to turning dreams into reality. Even the local pool, the newly built underwater stage, is dedicated to inventive and adventurous filmmaking. Because filming in, on or under the water is never going to be straightforward. The stage is run by Phoebe,
It's Carmen at SGB for you. Is this about your towers?
who assists the manager and the man who is the inspiration behind its being built in the first place, Dave Shaw.
The underwater stage here at Pinewood is unique. There isn't anything like this in Europe. We're only 12 months old.
So this is the dry area of the underwater stage, and this is really where productions can use this whole space to congregate and do what they need to do. We've got a makeup room here, and then a production area here, which is for the producers and directors to base themselves.
We make it easy for productions to make a hostile environment in a controlled manner.
And this is the actual tank, so this is where all the water is on the other side. And right here's the halfway mark, so this is 3 metres. We've got 3 metres up and 3 metres down into the ground.
Last year we had Basic Instinct 2, Woody Allen came in, Da Vinci Code.
And here's the observation window where we can see exactly what's going on. There's a diver in there at the moment, actually, doing a bit of tidying up. And the idea with this is that the directors and producers and everybody else who's involved in the shoot can see what's happening without having to go swimming, really.
And the reason they're clearing the tank is because the next production has just pulled up outside. First to arrive is the helicopter, or rather, all that will be needed to simulate a helicopter. Over the next 2 weeks, a dramatic air-sea rescue sequence is going to be shot for Gale Force 10, the most expensive movie ever made by Belgians. The production manager for the Belgian crew is Annabelle. She's in charge of the purse strings and makes sure they get value for money. Dave Payne is in charge of special effects. It's the setup day, and Dave Shaw is helping to rig the wave machine.
What we're doing is we're just making 2 wave machines out of barrels. They're operated by a hydraulic ram, and hopefully we'll get waves in about half an hour or so.
But when it comes to testing them, a more traditional method provides that extra bit of welly. Meanwhile, over at Shepperton Manor House, producer Bill Shepherd is trying to get 3 films off the ground.
One is Vita in Virginia, which is about Vita sacrifices to Virginia Woolf, which Arlene Atkins has done the script. Emily Wolfe wants to play Virginia Woolf, and other people are screaming to play Vita.
Bill is a fan of writer Virginia Woolf. His last film, Mrs. Dalloway, was an adaptation of one of her early novels, and his new film is based on her life. It's ready to go.
What are you waiting for now?
Just the money. I've got everybody else. And I'm getting back, very good vibes coming back from Hollywood. People saying this is really good. Yes, I'm sorting out a distributor for you, and yeah.
Another manor house, another producer. Peter Rogers has built a fantastically successful career during his many years at Pinewood.
I was born in 1914. I've just passed my 92nd birthday, and I'm still here at Pinewood. I've been here 55 years. Made nearly 100 films.
Of those 100 films, 31 were part of the very successful Carry On series. So much so that nearly 50 years after his first Carry On, Peter Rogers still wants to make more.
The situation at present is that we're making more carry-ons with a new team. It'll be one a year, I expect. I should last that long.
And in a nearby office, just up the stairs in fact, veteran producer Paul Hitchcock is working on his next project. Having worked on Mission Impossible 2 with Tom Cruise, Paul has teamed up again with the director John Woo for his new action movie.
We have a budget that they would like to make this film for approximately $60 million.
It may sound a lot, but it's Paul's job to keep the movie on budget. It's going to be tight.
The problem always is you're dealing with very talented, creative people who are in love with every page, every line on the film, on the script. Whereas for me, I have to try and see how will that fit into our budget and what we would like to make this film for. This is the cheapest film that I've worked on since I was a little boy and worked for Rank. Yeah.
At the underwater stage, the Belgian production team are in. Dave Payne is making his final set preparations for the first test run. The scene is an air-sea rescue that takes place during a storm. To help him create the storm, Dave has rigged 2 rain machines, 4 water cannon, and a couple of barrels to create the waves. The helicopter's downdraft will be created by a giant fan. Its searchlight is placed on a cherry picker, and its rescue winch, well, that's been rigged from the ceiling. Two cameras will capture the action, one in a waterproof bag at wave height and the other on an 18-foot crane. Everyone has a copy of the storyboard, which lists all the setups to be shot today, and Annabelle is already concerned that the schedule is far too tight.
We definitely need to go and work as efficiently as possible, and because we have many, many scenes to cover.
When they go down,
the pressure is on.
Already up against it for time, the crew run their first test to see how the special effects will look on camera.
3, 2, 1, action!
The test has not gone well. The large fan has flattened out the waves. It's obvious Annabelle was expecting a lot more on the day when she needed everything to go smoothly.
It kind of looks like a storm, but the waves are not up to height, so we need very high waves.
And it wasn't what the director of photography, Danny XL, was expecting either.
On the storyboard, the waves are about 80 centimeters. But we're never going to reach that.
And what I don't like is people saying, yes, we can, and it cannot happen. I really, really hate that.
But the clock is ticking, and deadlines are slipping. It's down to Annabelle and Dave to come up with a solution, and fast. Off the main street and down a back lane. Garages. But like all things in Studioland, it's not as it seems. This workshop puts dents into cars rather than taking them out.
We're going to try and make it look as if it's been damaged in an accident. It's for an insurance company.
Guy and his company Action Cars are in the business of supplying any type of car for any type of job.
Driving schools and things like that.
But his personal favourites are police cars.
These are just general police cars that we tend to send out. Obviously, these are London ones.
And ad agency has asked Guy to turn this car into a wreck and send them a picture. Sounds easy, but there's a catch.
If you're trying to make a car look damaged at the front, the easiest thing to do is just affect the symmetry of it all. So if you can make one side different from the other, you go a long way.
The catch is that the insurance company, once on location, will need him to make this car showroom perfect again in under an hour. So Guy is making up and searching out duplicate parts that he can damage to make the shot look as realistic as possible.
Once they've got that shot, I think I've got 40 minutes to just put it all back together, clean it up, and then make it look as if it's just been delivered back by the insurance company and everything's brand new again.
Coming up, Bill gets critical.
Tour de force, time out. Nothing for a very long time has been more compelling or moving than Mail on Sunday, right?
Annabelle gets stormy.
Very stressful.
And Guy gets all steamed up.
That's my smashed up car.
Life in the film villages of Pinewood and Shepperton Studios is, as ever, going about its business in its own peculiar way. Take Guy at the Action Cars garage. He's loving smashing up the car, part of a pitch for a photo shoot for an insurance company.
I enjoy it, so keeps me off the streets and means I don't have to work at Quick Fit or somewhere like that. Starting to get there. Yeah, I think that'll do. I'll just do it till it looks like it's a bit of a mess, really. A bit of oil on the rag.
All he needs now is a piece of high-tech kit to finish the job.
This is my £6.99 wallpaper stripper. If I can do it without burning my hands. How's that look? A little bit of glass on the floor in front of it. Now that, I think, is about it. That's my smashed up car. Right, that's perfect. I think that'll do them.
Back at the underwater stage, where the crew of the Belgian film Gale Force 10 have been trying to recreate a storm. But the Belgian production manager, Annabelle, isn't happy about the size of the waves. Everyone is desperate to figure out how to get much higher waves. Trying to fix the problem is special effects man Dave Payne. And also helping the production to get it sorted is the British location producer Françoise Valentine.
Because of the nature of a storm and the fact that we've only got barrels to create the waves and not mechanical wave-making machines that are automatic, it's very difficult to do so manually.
The huge fan is part of the problem. Lowering it should reduce the downdraft, flattening the waves, and at the same time increase the crosswind, which will help whip them up. Sounds like a good idea. It certainly won't be enough on its own. And after much discussion, the team come up with a plan B.
So what they have is Effects Associates has a few more barrels. How many?
We're making 3 more.
3 more. It takes an hour.
And that means an hour downtime for the whole crew. Hardly what Annabelle needs in her busy schedule.
Now we're standing all here, waiting for a storm that was supposed to happen. As it is going to be an hour to set this plan B up, it's better to wait and stick to the plan. So we're sticking to the plan at this point and then see how we get on with plan B. And then we're going from there. Very stressful.
However, in well under an hour, Dave Payne has managed to conjure up some more barrels. But there are some in the Belgian crew who just don't believe it's enough.
If it's no better, then we have to think of something else. So at least we can...
I don't believe this is going to make the storm. Even 100 of these barrels.
Let's try Let's try it, because they can do that manually. Let's see if we can. Let's see what it looks like, and then we'll know exactly what we need. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Let's try it.
Yes. I mean, at least let's try. Can I say one more thing?
Everyone musters round to see if they can produce a storm for the Belgians with just 4 barrels.
Who's synchronizing? Who's giving you 4, 3? Okay.
The storm is starting to build.
Action!
However, no sooner has the camera started to roll than they suddenly have to stop filming. The lead actor is in pain. He is suffering from cramp. This could be one setback too far. Shepperton, and producer Bill Shepherd is waiting to hear from the money men.
This is my office. I mean, it's a great place to sort of read scripts, think about what you want to do. It's very good, and to use the energy that you've got actually to make things work, and then to do everything you can to encourage other people to come and all work together.
He has launched many of his biggest successes from this room.
To be a good producer, you have to have an undying belief in yourself, because you've got to be completely crazy, right?
One of Bill's crazy ideas was to record all of Shakespeare's plays.
So in a moment of complete madness for kids in schools and colleges, I decided to do the entire Shakespeare canon, which is all 38 plays, which had never been done before. Just shows you how mad I am, really, I suppose. That's the whole lot. All 38 plays. Never been done before.
After his mammoth audio CD project, next was a film, Mrs. Dalloway, based on the early Virginia Woolf novel.
This is for Eileen won this, Eileen Atkins, who wrote for me, Mrs. Dalloway.
Eileen Atkins is also Mrs. Bill Shepherd and an award-winning actress. The film turned out to be a critical success.
Tour de force, time out. Nothing for a very long time has been more compelling or moving than Mail on Sunday, right?
But Bill got himself into a bit of a pickle at first.
I got into terrible trouble because the money people had sort of said, yes, Bill, we've got all the money for you and that's terrific. And I started filming and shooting. And in my stupidity and innocence, they turned up then about 3 weeks after being shooting and said, sorry, we haven't got the money.
So now Bill is waiting for the money people before he makes his next move on Vita and Virginia.
I think the way it's going at the moment, I think I will have some decisions within the next 8 weeks, at which point in time we can go into pre-production.
While Bill has a script but no money, John Woo's producer, Paul Hitchcock, has the money but only half a script.
We have half the cake, but we can't move until we have a final script that's good enough to give to an actor, because obviously that's the most important thing. Our changes that we'd like to see made have gone back to the writer in New York. He's going to work on that with John Woo over the next 2 weeks.
Paul is in a hurry because the studio's sound stages are rapidly getting booked up.
And I think that stages here are going to become harder to get hold of as the year goes on. We're penciled in for May, but unfortunately, because the script took a little longer and we want some changes in it, we won't start shooting now, probably till the end of June.
Scarcely 100 yards away, in a small office in the Gatehouse, are two of Pinewood's newest arrivals. Independent producers, Robbie Moffat and Mari Sutherland.
It's great to be in this office in Pinewood. It's a great opportunity because there's Warner Brothers here, there's HBO and there's MGM. So, you know, you can just go and have a cup of coffee and suddenly you're sitting beside the head of acquisitions, MGM. Of course you're going to pitch your movie. And that is the best thing about being here.
And as it happens, they do have a project to pitch. It's called Beam Me Up, and it's, well, science fiction.
I am very optimistic about Beam Me Up.
Beam Me Up might be onwards and upwards and to the far and beyond. Who knows what's going to happen.
It's a fantastic movie. It's going to be great. People are going to flood along to see it.
Things aren't going well at the underwater stage. Filming has stopped. The lead actor has got cramp. But after a short break, he feels he is willing to give it another try. And it's not long before everyone is back filming. Annabelle is still pushing to get bigger and better waves. It's all taking its toll on Dave Payne.
She said, you're going to increase the waves. How much wave do you want? You're down in there in a storm.
I know, them poor buggers will be dead pumping that.
As it stands as of now, we don't find the right amount of waves that we wanted. So it is a problem at this point.
But the problem could be solved at last as Plan B finally materialises. The new barrels, still hot from being specially welded, are brought in. The whole side of the tank is now chock-a-block with barrels.
Here we go, guys! I think we've got force 11.5 now going behind me, so it's quite good.
Finally, they managed to get all the shots on the storyboard. But are they happy with the end result? Director Hans Herbert gives it the thumbs up. But what is Annabelle's final verdict on the waves?
A bit better.
Next week, the whole of Evolution. Lee Took conquers space. The Belgians master fire. And Peter finds the missing link.
I mean, it's no good just getting... yeah, I'd go that.